I'm Crystal.
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Brittany.
And
we are Soapy Faith.
So everyone's always asking us on Instagram and when we're out at vendor shows, like, what is the story behind Soapy Faith? Like, is it just the soap? Is it just the affirmations? I know there's something more. So we thought it was the perfect time to share our story and kind of share some behind the scenes on who we really are behind the brand. It's not just soap, soap, soap all the time. So
people are always asking us when we're out, are you guys really sisters? Actually, Brittany is my sister-in-law. I'm married to her brother, and Michelle is my little sister. Brittany and I have always been crafty and making soap and making products. Many years ago, we used to make bath and body products and put our products in baskets and sell them for Valentine's Day and Mother's Day. And we did it in our house, and we felt that we were getting too big to make product out of our home, so we decided to go and rent a studio called Active Space. And from there, it allowed us to make all of our products. It allowed us to create. It also allowed people to come in and see the products that we made. And then we actually from there had to move because the owner said that we were too professional and we didn't look like we made all of our product.
Yeah, and from that transition took us into actually a retail store where it was much bigger than the studio, and we had what 15 different products,
20 different fragrances.
Right, and this customizing thing going on where you can create your own thing.
It was 1, 2, 3, choose your own product, choose your own fragrance and scent, and we would make basically whatever your heart desired.
yes. Exactly. And this is a brush.
Oh my gosh.
From years ago when we first had the store, and actually this was made in 2003. So I was like a sophomore in high school. I don't know what I was talking about. I mean, I have where I'm asking for investors and talking about how much on your return you're gonna get. I didn't even know anything about that, but as you guys can see, that's Crystal and Brittany right there.
Many years ago.
Yes. So actually, before Soapy Faith actually got started, we were still in business with Soothing Creations, dealing with having 15 different products, 20 different fragrances. We were actually just winging it. Neither one of us knew how to operate a business. We didn't have any mentors. No one in our circle knew how to make soap or were trying to make soap. But we ran into a lot of issues with Soothing Creations, a lot of financial issues because we didn't really have any money. And then we had a lot of personal issues going on, and dealing with all those different issues, Soothing Creations closed its doors.
Yeah, and it was not a pretty close.
So what happened after Soothing Creations dissolved?
So Soothing Creations was short-lived for 3 years, and due to the product demand and financial issues and arguments back and forth and not really having anyone to show us the ropes, we closed the doors, and it really wasn't a pretty sight.
Yeah, it was pretty difficult emotionally and financially to balance out business and also family. And I think life itself took a toll on us and really made it difficult, not really having the support from our community, from our other family members to keep that sustained. It was very tough.
Yeah, and it was actually kind of an unspoken close.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, we had bills to pay, rent was due. Right. We were running low on some of our high demand products, and we just kind of came into the store and said, okay, well, you take that and I'll take that. And that was it. We didn't really talk about it, but it ended like real
attitude. We didn't really even talk much after that.
That was it.
Very little.
So after the doors of Soothing Creation closed, that's when my life began. Being married, raising 2 small children, and just dealing with like everyday life, dealing with just being in a marriage. It was good sometimes, it was bad sometimes. We had a lot of financial issues, we had trust issues. There was a lot of infidelity. There was a lot of verbal abuse through the house, and it was just always just issues, just a lot of different issues to deal with, and that went on just for a really long time. And I really didn't have anyone to really talk to, because of course Brittany and I didn't really see each other that much. We didn't really talk during family functions like, you know, Thanksgiving or like Christmas or the kids' birthdays and stuff. We would see each other, but we didn't really talk. We just like, hi, you know, and then just kind of keep it going. It was just like very brief. So I internally held a lot of the things in. And just going through that, I know I didn't have my sister to call or to vent, you know, what was going on. So I just kept a lot of that in. So that went on for a long time, and you know, like I said, there would be good days and bad days, and I thought that was gonna be like my life. I didn't think anything else could happen more. But in January of 2011, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So I'm like, oh my God, what else could happen more with dealing with, you know, being in an abusive relationship and trying to raise young children. Now I have to deal with that. And again, I'm dealing with all this stuff just internally. I'm not even praying. I'm not even asking God for any guidance, any wisdom, like nothing. And so again, I'm holding all this in, and being diagnosed with breast cancer was like the worst thing ever, because no one in my family had been through breast cancer, and I didn't know, like, you know, what to do. And I had my first surgery in March of 2011, and from there I had a total of 7 surgeries in 18 months. And I didn't, again, really call anybody. I didn't pray on it. I didn't pray on anything. And I'm holding all that in, still recovering from like surgeries, and during that time still encountering trust issues and financial issues, and dealing with the kids, and you know, dealing with a husband who's there but he's not there, and you know, looking for that love and support but wasn't getting it. I didn't have anybody to call. So I got into a really like depressed state, because again, I'm in a verbal abusive relationship, and not really getting what I felt that, you know, I should get, going through cancer and going through all my different surgeries. And I just got down to a really low point where I did try to commit suicide. I spent 3 days on a suicide watch ward, and that's when she came, and she came to the hospital with me, but it still wasn't a sister bond. It was like, oh, that's my brother's wife, and let me kind of see what's going on. But the bond wasn't there anymore, because that had been broken. And so I was just at a really low point. I didn't want to live anymore. I thought that I was worthless. I was not a good wife. I was not a good mother. I was just in a really dark place. And that's when I began to pray. I had never prayed ever before about even going through surgeries or even the relationship with my husband. I didn't pray about anything, because I'm like, God can't help me now. So that at that point, coming out of the suicide watch and coming out of the hospital is when I really prayed, and I asked God, what do I need to do now? Because I'm at the lowest point in my life. And he said, now is the time that you have to remove yourself. That's when I called my sister Brittany and I told her that enough was enough. She didn't know what I was going through.
Yeah, I can remember when that phone call came in and me feeling like, what? All this? It was just unbelievable to me, because I'm thinking, first of all, this is my brother that she's talking about, but this is also my sister. Yeah, we're sister-in-laws, but the bond that we had from way back, I don't even include the in-law, because it's really a sisterhood. And it was amazing that when that phone call came in, that I was able to receive it, and that I was in a place with myself that all that past didn't matter, and that I was there for my sister. And when she called, I said, hey, I'm right here, because I'm going to stand on the side of righteousness. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And she shared with me, and I supported her through. I didn't throw stones. I didn't judge. I just showed love and compassion and support to her. And I thank God for building me up to be prepared for the call. And her going through made me think about what I was going through, because when the doors closed with Soothing Creations, I had my challenges as well. I ended a divorce shortly after the store closed. I remember thinking back in my own marriage about how I was so insecure that my husband did not make me feel secure in any kind of way, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually. It was all a void. And now that I look back in retrospect, from then to now, I see that the signs were there, but I didn't take time to even think about what I was really seeing. I had a child, and I wanted to provide for my child, having the mother and father in the home, and really focusing on that, and not really thinking about myself and what I really needed, because I wasn't praying either. I just knew it was the right thing to do to get married. And then my oldest daughter going through incarceration and being out of state was the most difficult and challenging time I have ever experienced. I would have never thought that any of my children, I have 3 daughters, any of my children would be in trouble with the law. And it still makes these emotions come back because of the fear. And because I've always been a strong woman to everybody else, and having them see me as such, this strong woman, not to be able to help and get my daughter out of this situation, I was helpless. And so I made a decision to just stand and support her through it, flying back and forth out of state. Really put a stress on me financially, as well as my job, and really coming to terms with making a decision to do that, to stand in strength for her. And that was very difficult for me, because I had 2 other younger children that needed me. But here I was going out on the limb and sacrificing everything for my oldest daughter. And it really hurt me, because I wanted to really show her that I could support her and love her through this without judging her, and showing her that we can get by, we can make it through no matter what, and hoping that that would show her that, you know, I was hurting my family and hurting my mom, and I never want to do this again. I had a job injury that took me off of work, so my financial status even went worse, to the point where I was really in jeopardy of losing my property. And to this day, I'm still struggling with my house that Sophie Faith is now ran out of. But it's really, you know, me turning to God and really trusting God. And when my sister came back into my life with that phone call, I knew that we had to pray about something, you know, to get us through. And what would God have us to do? Because that passion and that yearning to create and work together never died. Life just took a toll on us, and we were living and going through our own things. But I think I can speak for the both of us. We had a desire to still do more and still create, because we feel now looking back and talking about it and praying about it, that's our purpose.
Yeah, it's definitely our purpose now. When we were doing Soothing Creations, we didn't have a purpose. All we wanted to do was make stuff, make candles, make incense, make body scrubs, but not really having a purpose of why are we doing this, who are we helping. And so now with Soapy Faith, we have a purpose, and our purpose is to help others, to inspire others, and to uplift others.
Yes.
So while my sisters were going through all of this, I really had no idea really what was going on, because I actually at the time was in college. I went to Tuskegee University, shout out to Tuskegee, in Alabama. So I was in college, you know, pretty much enjoying my life. You know, I was always in contact with my sisters, but like she said, you know, she never really talked much about it, so I didn't really know what was going on. Shortly after I graduated, I came home for a little while. Hey sister, bye sister. You know, I'm going to take this job. I took a job in Georgia. So that went good, you know, because I've always been financially pretty much supporting myself. So I was willing to go like anywhere for a job. So I'm like, cool, I'm going to Georgia. So that went well. I was traveling, going all over, having fun. And then, you know, the issues with my job started coming on. So it was like racism issues and, you know, issues with not being able to get anywhere. I'm like, okay, I have this degree, like I'm doing all this work, why can't I get promoted? You know, I was in a relationship that I was unhappy with at the time, so I had no idea that all this stuff was going on. It wasn't to the degree, but I was pretty much dealing with my own stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really know kind of what was going on. So when I got home and my sister calls me like, I'm moving out and we're moving in. I'm like, what? Wait, I just moved from Georgia back to California. Like, I literally don't have any money, barely. I have my little relocation check. So I'm like, surprised. But at the same time, I'm like, well, damn, I wish I could have been there to support her.
And then it's like thinking about how God set it up. You were only back maybe about a month, maybe a little more before this all happened, you know? And that's the miracles of how God's timing works so divinely.
Yeah, she was not, she wasn't here long at all. And I'm like, okay, Michelle, you know, and when I told her, I says, yeah, God says I have to go. And she's looking at me like, what? I'm like, yeah, God said I have to go. I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't know anything. So I'm like, we're looking for places. Mind you, I don't have no money, like no money. I'm on my mom's futon. And I'm like, Michelle, well, can you borrow some money from your 401k, or can you use some of your relocation money? Because we got to get a place to live. And, you know, and she's being my little sister, and I'm like facilitating all this. Like, God said, I gotta go, and I didn't know where I was gonna go. And I mean, God just guided us through. We were able to get a place. The lady worked with us. We got into a smaller 2-bedroom apartment. She had a room, I had the room, but then the kids came with me, and I slept on the couch. The kids took the room. My daughter was sleeping with her, and we just made it work. But being in that situation, I was in a place that I'd never ever been before, being married almost 18 years, just solely being with him because we grew up together. I've known him and Brittany and her other sister since we were in 5th grade. So I was in a place that I'd never ever been before. Even though my marriage was bad, and dealing with, you know, the emotional abuse and the verbal abuse and the financial and the trust, I still was in a place that I was not comfortable. And that's when I really began to pray. But I needed something from my life. One day I was at work and just sitting down. I've been following Bishop T.D. Jakes. He's been like my spiritual pastor online, and was just listening to a sermon one day, and in 30 seconds God said, you're gonna make soap.
I was so excited for her that God had given her that vision to make soap, but it was like, okay, what else? And at the time I was like, well, God got to give me something too, because she just said that God told her to make soap. I was excited for her, but then my flesh was talking to me. It was kind of a weird type of thing going on until she called several weeks later and says, well, God said, you're my partner. And that's when I began to realize that my spirit had already known that I was a part of it, but I needed the confirmation. And when she called and told me that God had given her this, and I was a partner, and thinking about our sister Michelle and just the dynamic of God's divine perfect timing and what we were gonna do, it was like, okay, and we were walking around and we were all excited, and Michelle was like, all right, but what's up with you guys' Facebook? What's up with your Instagram? And we look at her like, we don't know nothing about that. Remember back in 2003, there was no social media stuff going on. We had brochures and a few little things, and that was it. So I think, you know, having our sister Michelle on board really just sealed the deal and confirmed everything that God had for us and moving forward, and how he set this thing up. And I'm so thankful that she really saw the purpose and what God had given us to give to the people, and that she just was like, let me just help my sisters. They don't know what they doing. She probably felt sorry for us.
Doing Soapy Faith is actually our second chance. Since we closed the doors to Soothing Creations and all of our struggles that we had running that business, and now starting a new business, we didn't want to go through the same challenges and obstacles that we had with that business. And so we decided to focus on solely soap, because even though we had 15 different products, not all of those products were selling, and we also wanted to have something that was universal, for something that everyone could use. We did make body scrubs and bath salts and candles and incense, which just to name a few of all the many products that we had. But soap is something that everyone can use. Yes. And along with the vision, because of our life issues that we were going through, we always looked toward positive things. Yes. Started listening to positive motivational speakers and just different ministers, and reading. Positivity was what I geared toward, what I looked forward in the morning, just reading something from the Bible, or just reading something from a book, or just reading a positive quote inspired me, and it helped me through the day, and it was something that I could look to. Yep. When I was feeling down. So during the vision, it was like, okay, you're going to be, you know, making soap, and along with that is going to be these positive affirmations, because this is how you're going to help people. Yes. By delivering this message. Right. And that's how Soapy Faith was born. That's how the positive affirmations are included with the soap, and that's how we just solely focused on soap. And when we started this journey, it was really funny, because our family really thought we were crazy. Number one, because they knew how we ended the business. We didn't end the business on good terms, and they're like, okay, you guys are going into business. Really? What? I thought y'all didn't even talk. You know, the kids were saying that. Everybody was just saying that. And then to top it off, you guys are doing the same thing. Right. It's like, okay, who does that? Who goes back into business? Everyone, you guys didn't talk, and then there were two you guys doing the same thing. But we said, no, we're not. You guys don't understand. Right. It's a purpose. We're being led by God, and we're only doing soap. So they're really like, woohoo, you guys are crazy. When they saw the complete package of the soap and the affirmation, and I mean, everyone was blown away by the simple fact that we had put this complete package together. Yes. And you know, doing the business all over again, they were able to receive it.
Yeah, and not only that, it was while we were praying and really focusing on to be still and quiet to hear what God would have us to do, because we knew that this was a second chance, and that we wanted to get it right. We wanted for him to lead us. And so going after your dream and having your purpose, you literally are crazy. You have to be literally crazy for your dream and for your purpose, because you're set aside outside of what the norm is. And it was just amazing to see step by step how it unfolded when we said yes and when we took our time to listen, and thinking about how much care and how much passion is behind what we do, knowing that, yeah, it's a great bar of soap. Don't get me wrong, the soap is amazing, but to have a wonderful bar of soap and then be able to open up this glassine envelope and read something that's life-changing, because that's where God comes in and he can give the actual message to the person that needs it. That affirmation, that Bible scripture will get to the person that needed it. That's planting a seed that God will be able to help them. And that's why it's called Soapy Faith, cleanse, refresh, renew, because we are being led by God. We're not about sight, but standing on faith. You know, and it's just amazing, and the obedience behind it, and what we want to give to somebody else, paying it forward to show that we love, you know, people, and we love to help and inspire. That's what it's all about, you know. And we are just so thankful that our customers and our support system and our family now get it, that everybody plays a role in it. And my mom and my dad, just everybody on board to help this. And it wasn't like that before. Everybody gets soap from us. And I'm just in awe all the time, constantly.
Yeah, it's I think, like I said, this is our second chance, and that's why I keep going back to it, because there's a lot of people that that want to go into business, or they want to be entrepreneurs, and they don't know what to do or how to do it, and they have an idea or they have a vision, but because they don't have the money, or they don't have the support, or they don't have the resources, they just stop right there. And for us, God had been preparing us like way back then, because no longer about what I feel. It's now the purpose. So that's the second chance, because the second chance is the purpose of entrepreneurship and being able to share and serve others, and, you know, inspire and uplift and to encourage when people are maybe going through marital issues or going through financial issues. That's the bigger purpose. So all of our financial issues, yes, we have financial issues still. Sometimes we've dealt with issues in the business where my account is overdrawn. I'm 2 months behind in my car note, but I'm still filling orders because I have a purpose, because I know on the other side of that, there's going to be somebody at that time that could be going through something, and they open up the positive affirmation and it says, "You are beautiful today." Nobody may have ever told them that, but because they got our soap, it's going to make them say, "Wow, I am special, I am beautiful, and I can you know, continue." So we do encounter struggles, and we do encounter financial hardships, but at the end of the day, we still push through, because it's greater on the other side, and that's our purpose.
Yes. I remember a time where we were challenged with thinking about the affirmations. We keep talking about them because that's such a pivotal point and purpose of Soapy Faith, that when we came up with the vision of doing these affirmations, we wanted the logo on the front and a affirmation or Bible scripture on the back, but each one had to be different. So we take it to our print store and we're like, "We want this, we want you to do it like this," and he's looking like, no. Can't do that. I can make them all the same. No, each one has to be different. And we looked at each other and was like, okay, you know what? This is just gonna have to be done by ourselves. We're gonna have to do it. And because I'm not computer savvy, I was looking at my sister like, "Look, I'll help you get the affirmations and Bible scriptures, but sister, you're gonna have to really do this."
I am,
you know, crop marks and all that stuff. It's like, what?
I'm the in-house graphic designer, and anything to do with computers, that's me. And so it was a little frustrating for me, because we did have a vision and it had to be done just right, and I knew that no one else could do it, and we had to do it. So I probably stayed up till 3 in the morning reading and researching what is crop marks, how do I create a template, how do I all of it, and it was kind of frustrating because that was the start of the business. It was either make it or break it. When I finally got it, finally created the template, researched on what crop marks were, and my sister would email me and find all these Bible scriptures, but they were too long. The affirmations were too long. I said, I can't fit all that on this little itty bitty 2x3 business card. So, you know, I said, no, we have to find them short. And once we worked through that, because that was a big challenge for Soapy Faith, but that was the time that we got a chance to know each other, know our strengths, know our weaknesses, and know that if we work together, we can accomplish that. So through all of that, we came up with how to create our affirmations, being able to take it to the print company and allowing them to be able to print our affirmations and each one be different. But that was a very tough challenge that we had to overcome with starting Soapy Faith.
And it's funny because every time we are packaging up soap, or if we're feeling down, we pull those affirmations and Bible scriptures right out too. And they are uplifting and empowering to us. Sometimes we be crying reading them like, oh my God, this is just so awesome, so wonderful. I needed it. Thank you. It's so amazing because it's a real healing process for us to serve and to help. And it's our passion. So it's going to touch us in a real way and inspire people to live their dream. And like you said, sister, to really go outside the borders of I can't do it. There's all these reasons why, but when it's your purpose, you have to push.
And I think that because we were so passionate about creating the soap and all the time we were putting into it, Michelle saw our passion, and I think that's when she kind of was on board with willing to help us.
So at first I didn't even know what I was going to be doing. My sister was just like, yeah, God said you're going to be my partner. I'm like, okay, well, why would God tell you something and not tell me? But, you know, she was like, you're going to be my partner. So I didn't even know really what I was going to do in Soapy Faith. And I really wasn't even that enthusiastic in being involved because, like I said, I just moved back home and I really kind of had my own stuff. I was in the process of starting like my own little business that I had finally gotten the courage to do. So I really wasn't enthused about being asked to do something else. So I was just like, okay, I just agreed to do it, but I didn't really take it as me doing anything. It was just like, okay, I'll help here and there where you guys need my help or whatever. So I would see them making it so piled up all over. They're so excited about it. And finally, I'm just like, at this time, you know, social media, Instagram and everything is like really popping.
Everything.
So I'm like, okay, sisters, like this is cool and everything. You guys have this soap, but we got to get it on Instagram. We got to get it on social media.
Yes.
And they're like, ooh, no, I don't do social media. I don't do all that. I leave that to you guys. You guys do. We'll get on there a little bit, but no. I'm like, okay, well, pretty much nowadays, like a business can't even survive without social media. So that's kind of where I got involved. It's kind of starting the social media accounts. I'm into like marketing and creating content. I was a marketing major, but I wasn't a content creator or a brand manager. I just was me saying, okay, this is what I was going to do.
Right.
And finally I had to take myself seriously, like, okay, you're really taking this over. And I just had to, you know, get serious about posting and really sharing, because I knew like, okay, all of this is fine. This is great, but how are we going to help people and spread this message and everybody buy our soap if nobody even sees it? So that's where I kind of took over. And like they, you know, like my sister said, with the passion, I saw, okay, they're passionate. Let me make sure they don't get in no arguments after a couple of months. Okay, they're serious. You know, let me make sure they only got 3 soaps to start with. You know what I'm saying? They keep up with that. Okay, now I can like invest time in it. And I saw it was really like a purpose. And when I started running the social media, you know, we started getting more followers, and I noticed people like really DMing us and saying, oh wow, like this affirmation really touched me. And it was not really like, oh, it was nice. It was like, okay, the affirmation was talking about a certain thing, and I was going through that certain thing at a time. Like, how did you guys know that? And I'm like thinking in my head, like, wow, and we're getting all these reviews. The soap is amazing. And I had eczema, and now it's clearing up. So I'm like, wow, like this product is really like real. So that's when I really, you know, knew that it was a purpose, and we couldn't stop there. Like, we had to keep going. Like, this is really helping people not only feel beautiful, but on the outside, but also feel on the inside.
Right.
So I knew from there, like, okay, we can't keep going. Like, this is really, I mean, we can't stop. Like, this is really real. This is really helping people. This is a purpose. Right. And even though I just serve from behind the scenes on social media, it's like, I know that I have my own testimony that I can help somebody from behind the scenes and they don't even know it. Right. So that is how I really got, you know, super serious about it. So that's kind of how I came in as the brand manager, self-proclaimed, you know, and I learned how to do everything just from, you know, research, using my resources. I use a lot of my friends, you know, people I know to help, to buy, you know what I'm saying? So that's like what just took us off from there. And then we've also had a lot of influential people. We just connected with so many people, you know. We started getting so many supporters, even, you know, a lot of celebrities and, you know, influencers, being able to work with them, being able to share our product with them even supporting us and buying product from us. Yes. And from there, you know, them really being supportive is what really just helped our brand on the internet and on the social side kind of just like take off. So if you're ever wondering why we run Soapy Faith the way we do, it's really because of the foundation that we've built Soapy Faith on. Number one is about the product. We really pride ourselves on having an amazing product to help beautify, heal the skin. I think out there's a lot of products that are not always good for you, and I think we pride ourselves on using natural products that are good for all skin types, as well as making people feel beautiful about their skin and really making a choice, a conscious choice to use a healthy product. We have people that never thought about what was in their soap or what they were using on their skin or why their skin was the way it was, and we're able to, you know, help educate them and give them something that now they can make a conscious choice to use something healthy on their skin to help them have more beautiful skin. So I think that number one is we pride ourselves on our product, and we know we have a great product. Number two is the way we run Soapy Faith. A lot of people wonder, like, wow, how do you keep up with, you know, answering DMs or messages, or, you know, how do you have such great customer service? And I think that's because of what, you know, Soapy Faith was built on. Everything we've gone through in the past. For people to want to support our business, and, you know, my sisters, it being their second time in business, for people even to want to come support us and put $1 in our pocket and support our brand, you know, that's what we're grateful for, and that's why we treat everyone like family. You know, when I talk to people online, I talk to them like a friend, like I've known them forever, because you don't know what you might say or what positive vibes you might give them for, you know, and for whatever they're going through. You don't know what they're going through. So why not treat everyone with, you know, love and kindness and gentleness, so that people are not only feeling like we're selling a product, but they're literally feeling the vibe from our service as well. So I think that's why we run Soapy Faith the way we do, and that's what's never gonna change.
That's right.
So what's to come for Soapy Faith? Wow, a lot is to come in the next couple of years. Number one, we are releasing a makeup brush and sponge soap called Beat Bubbles, so look out for that. Then we're coming out with a kids line as well as a men's line. After that, we're going to be doing a lot more collaborations. We have one collaboration that we've done so far with King Me by Pink Grasshopper, which is a LA-based jewelry line, which is really, really near and dear to our heart. That's one of our partners, and the soap is called King Me, and that was kind of our first collab. Which is really, really amazing. The soap is so awesome. So we're going to be doing a lot more collaborations, working with more bloggers, working with more influencers, as well as really just turning Soapy Faith into a lifestyle brand. Not just a product, but turning it into an inspirational lifestyle brand. So that's kind of the road that we're taking Soapy Faith on now. So get ready for the ride and stay tuned. So we're gonna end with a toast to always love yourself, pamper yourself, and feel beautiful because you are.
Yes.
And remember to always have courage and push through when times are hard.
And always have faith and never give up. Cheers to you. Be Soapy Faith.